Okay, so in this video we're going to talk about game objects in Unity and how to create them and how to use them. Okay, so so far we have seen that in normal programming we can create objects from classes, right? We can create our human class and we can create our human object like this, and then we can call the takeDynamic function. So that's what we know for now. But in Unity programming things are a little bit different. In Unity programming, we have different ways that we can create objects, or in this case, game objects, because game objects are all of the objects that are going to be a part of our game. So, for example, in here we have a human that takes damage inside the start method, but you might ask yourself, okay, but where is the object? So the object is not here, but what we have is that we have a reference to that object. So we have a reference. So our reference is a new human, is of type human, so it's like a variable basically. And here what we have is that we have the modifier is public. So what we're telling Unity right now is that we want to create a reference from the Unity editor, so from outside the code we want to create a reference to a human object. So in Unity we can create objects manually, and then we can create references inside scripts like this, or we can actually create game objects inside the code. In this video I'm going to show you how to create a reference to an object. Okay, so to do this, let's go to Visual Studio, and here we have our alien versus human. And what we're going to do is that we're going to do to our alien class, and to our alien class we're going to add the two dots, and then we're going to add the mono behavior keyword, because we have to make it special, so we can do this. And the human, we are also going to do the human. We're also going to add the mono behavior keyword. So most of the classes that you make in Unity are going to be this way. You're going to create a class, and by default it's going to have the mono behavior keyword, and you're going to edit the code, and that's how it's going to be. I showed you the other way of doing it because it was the normal standard, but in Unity you will have this mono behavior keyword. Okay, so once we created this, we're gonna go back to the main script, and in here we're gonna comment out the object that we created because we don't want to have them right now. And the way we do it in Unity is that we create references from this class. Okay, so to create a reference to an object we say public, because we need to be able to edit this reference from outside the code, and then we say the name of the class. So we want a reference to a human, so, and then we can call this human1 or whatever we want. I'm gonna call it human1 just so I get rid of the errors. We're gonna do the same thing with alien, so public alien1. Okay, so now we have created the references. So now what do we do? Okay, so now what we have to do is that we have to go to the Unity editor, and if you select the main object that has the main script, now you can see that inside the main script component, you can see that there are like two things over here. You can see that there's a human1 and an alien1, and it says non-human, non-alien. So each field in here is expecting an object. Human1 is expecting an object of type object, so that's why there's a human in parentheses, and alien1 is expecting an object of type alien. So we're going to do that. But how do we do this? Can we actually just drag the script from the project view to here? And the thing is, we cannot. So we can't do that. So the way we do it is that first we need to create an object, then we need to attach this alien script to that object and the human script to another object, and then we can go ahead, select main, and drag the objects, the game objects, from the hierarchy to the main script, to the main script fields. So inside here in the hierarchy we're going to right click, and we're going to create an empty object. This object I can name it human, for example. I can just right click here in the transform and reset it. And now that we have our human game object, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to drag. I can do it in many ways, but another way to do it is that you can select your human and add component, and then search for the human script. And once you have it, you click, and now the human script is attached to the human game object. We're going to do the same thing for the alien. So we're going to create an alien game object. So I'm going to create an empty object. I'm going to call this object alien. So you can hold left click and you can change the name from here, or you can change the name from the inspector. Both ways work. And in transform I'm going to hit reset, so I reset the game object. And now that I have the game object, I'm going to left click the alien script in the project view. I'm going to drag the alien script to the alien object. So now the alien object has the alien script attached to it. So now that I have my objects with the scripts, I can select the main. I can select the main game object, and then you can see that we still have the human here and the alien. They're both expecting the object, the game object. I'm just gonna drag the human to where it says human 1. Another way you can do it is by clicking the circle over here. So if I click the circle, you can see that a dialog appears, a pop-up appears, and then we can choose the alien. That is the kind of object that it is expecting. All right. So now that we have a reference to the alien and a reference to the human, we can go back to Visual Studio, and you can see that everything is the same. So now everything should work. So now if we click save, and you might be asking, oh, and why does it work? Well, because this was the reference and it was an empty reference. At first, this is an empty reference, but once we go to the Unity editor and we drag the human to the human field and the alien to the alien field, now these references are referencing the human object and the alien object, which both have a script attached to it. Okay, so now we can just hit play. And if we go to the console, we will see the same exact results we got earlier in the previous videos. Okay, so this is how we do it manually. And in the next video, I will show you how to do it from the code, how to actually create game objects from the code. So I'll see you in the next video.